Tonight, we're tracking the impact of deadly Hurricane Milton as the storm passed over the state of Florida. We want to give you a live look right now at the U.S. power outage map. More than 1.9 million homes and businesses remain without power in the state of Florida tonight. And as this major outage continues, people living there are scrambling to find fuel. According to analysts at Gas Buddy, nearly 30% of Florida's 8,000 gas stations have run out. Florida's governor says there is fuel available, in the state's inventory, but many gas stations are without power. And Ohio Task Force 1 also remains in Florida tonight, helping in the aftermath of the tornadoes, both Hurricane Helene and Milton. Gwyneth Falloon caught up with the team this afternoon, bringing us a look at what its 82 members have been doing over the last 48 hours.
Take a look at some of these pictures from Ohio Task Force 1's Facebook. You can see the amount of damage, debris, and destruction left behind by the most recent hurricane to hit Florida. However, the team has been south for the last 17 days, deployed ahead of Hurricane Helene. Due to the power and devastation, though, brought forth by Milton less than 2 weeks later and multiple tornadoes before Milton's landfall, the team continues to wait at the ready to step up for southern communities.
It's been more localized flooding, down trees, power lines, propane tanks. We're in Florida, so there's lots of animals that we're not too accustomed to in Ohio that we need to stay away from.
But Ryan McElroy and his 81 other team members remain in high spirits and ready to jump into action. Over the last 2 weeks, Ohio Task Force 1 has been to Florida, North Carolina, and back, helping with cleanup and recovery efforts in communities there. McElroy tells me he's never expected to be gone this long, but says he and the team are more than happy to help those who need it most. Ohio Task Force 1's return to Ohio has yet to be determined. The team says they are still getting mission packages and has plans to stay until everything is wrapped up to support the local community as much as possible. Back to you.
Local groups are seeing the devastation from the recent hurricanes and are now jumping in to help. Jenna Lee Bork was at the Cornerstone Church of Christ earlier and tells us what she learned about how it's helping.
I found out the Cornerstone Church of Christ has helped with past relief efforts after disasters, and through messaging their members and sharing on social media, this effort took off quickly. Members from the Cornerstone Church of Christ arrived in North Carolina on Thursday to help with relief efforts after Hurricane Helene. Jason Schofield, a physician assistant at Kettering Health and a deacon, says the church was in contact with people already there to find out what was needed.
They sent us lists of things like generators and cleaning items, bleach, even clothing and blankets that they needed. You know, there are a lot of pets, or they don't have food for them.
Schofield said he was in charge of sending out messages to church members, helped update the website, and staffed where they collected supplies. The group was able to fill 3 trailers after people shared posts on social media. A local food bank giving 14 pallets of food. The word got out far enough that people came from Columbus and Indiana to help.
The community just started seeing what was happening, and just human kindness started outpouring. People brought things in. There were people we didn't know that were just there helping to load the trucks.
Schofield says even with federal and state help, more is always needed.
We've always been able to, through contacts of church or friends, find communities that are just not served. There's not one organization that could meet everybody's needs.
I'm told that there are no definite plans to go to Florida, but they are in contact with people there, and it's likely they will go help with Hurricane Milton relief as well. Back to you.
Now, we first reported Dayton area hospitals and health systems were being affected by the national IV fluid shortage last night. Tonight, the Ohio Department of Health is echoing some of the same messages. In a letter from the department's director, ODH announced its past and future plans to combat the shortage, including implementing a mandatory fluid reporting system, which began on October 4th. Hospitals and networks in the area can also expect to receive only between 40 and 60% of their normal shipment starting next week. Dayton 24/7 now partnering with the Salvation Army and our parent company, Sinclair Inc., to help with humanitarian relief efforts across the disaster zones. Viewers like you have helped raise more than $309,000 in the Sinclair Cares Hurricane Relief Campaign. Now Sinclair is donating $50,000, bringing the total to nearly $360,000. Now go to sinclaircares.com and scan that QR code right now on your screen to make a donation, and thank you. Well, this man has been found guilty of rape and will now spend life behind bars without the possibility of parole. Ezra Bansabeza was convicted earlier this year for multiple counts, including rape of a minor. Bansabeza was designated a tier 1, 2, and 3 sex offender. So in the event he is released, he will need to register his address every 90 days for the rest of his life.
We may not have as great a view of the aurora tonight, but it is still going to be a beautiful night across most of western Ohio. Temperatures will be mild as we go through the overnight hours, dropping from the 50s and only getting into the lower 50s for a lot of places. In fact, you might even see a few areas that stay closer to 60 degrees. Springfield down to 50, 51, Greeneville at about 57. See how the clouds thicken up during the overnight hours tonight? That is also going to help keep us a little warmer than what we had during the early morning hours on Friday. Temperatures overnight falling through the 40s. By 8 o'clock in the morning, we're down to 49 degrees, and then we still have a fairly nice weekend. We'll get into that forecast in just a few minutes.
Miamisburg Police Department welcoming a new police chief. Check it out. Mike Brown was appointed as chief back in September after retiring from the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. He's a Miamisburg native and has had over more than 30 years of law enforcement experience, starting as a corrections officer back in 1993. Brown's first official day is Monday. And a Dayton mother is now moving into a brand new home in the Edgemont community with the help of a local organization. Alicia Jackson has been working with Habitat for Humanity of Greater Dayton the last 2 years to get the home of her dreams. And with the help of volunteers and students from the University of Dayton, that dream has finally come true. Jackson said one of the things on her bucket list was to have a home by the age of 40 for her and her girls. She turns 40 next year. A street in West Dayton is now dedicated to a national human rights activist and journalist. Cowart Street designated as Joe Madison Way at a ceremony today. Now Madison is known as the Black Eagle, is a Dayton native and began his career as the youngest president of any NAACP chapter. From there, he went on to become the national political director before shifting to broadcasting. In 2022, he made national headlines after going on a 74-day hunger strike due to a legislative change in voting rights. Madison continued to fight for social injustice for the rest of his career. A statewide burn ban finally lifted, but local restrictions still apply. What this could mean for your community next. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Play free games for a chance to win money.
The state's fire marshal lifting the burn ban today after drought conditions forced a ban earlier than normal. Ohio State Fire Marshal Kevin Reardon says there are a lot of factors that go into the decision, but one is more important than others.
Several weeks ago were the preeminent factor we looked at statewide. We had wide-ranging drought conditions where the ground was very dry. There's a lot that goes into it, but it boils down to how easy it is to start a fire on the ground.
Dry conditions in early September made Reardon put the ban in place, eventually expanding it in late September. Harrison Township, though, banned open burning before the state's expansion. Reardon says local bans still have to be followed, so we checked in with Harrison Township today.
Every Thursday, the National Weather Association releases the drought monitor chart, and we are completely out of any kind of drought situation, so we are 100% comfortable with releasing that burn ban.
Every October, the Ohio Department of Natural Resources bans open burning from 6 in the morning to 6 at night, and that is still in effect.
We had a gorgeous Friday today with all that beautiful sunshine. It did warm us back up to around 73 degrees. A lot of the rural parts of the area dropped into the 30s. Even in town, we hit 39 degrees. Had some patchy frost across a lot of the area. So we were well below normal this morning, but above average during the afternoon. Certainly nowhere near the records of 87 and 26. Overnight tonight in town, we're looking at temperatures around 51 degrees. Some of the outlying areas are going to be in the 40s, but we'll stay mainly clear to start with. Lots of stars, and then those clouds are going to thicken up by early in the morning. So by 8 a.m., you're looking at some partly to mostly cloudy skies across most of the region. Bellefontaine, low 50s to get started. Eaton at about 55, so it's still going to be a mild beginning to the day. As the afternoon progresses, we'll see some breaks in the clouds and likely temperatures climbing back up toward 80 degrees. So Salina up toward 81 by 4 in the afternoon. The clouds are going to be a little thicker towards Springfield and Xenia, so you may be a few degrees cooler. But then your evening, very pleasant for your Saturday with temperatures in the 60s, and the rain should stay mainly to the north. We may see some of that up near Toledo and Findlay, but not likely getting into our neck of the woods as much. Sunday, starting out very mild. Temperatures in the morning in the 60s, and then during the afternoon climbing back into the mid-70s. Now, there's a cold front that's going to be out there on Sunday. A few clouds are likely to come and go, and it's not out of the question. You see those clouds roll by right there? That may even have a quick shower with it. So we're not going to rule out the possibility of a quick shower coming by, but most of the weekend is going to be dry. Here's your Saturday. Sunshine at noon, breaking through the clouds, 70 degrees by 4 in the afternoon. We're back up to around 79 degrees. Sun comes up at about 7:45 in the morning. And those temperatures will rise pretty quickly, getting to 79 degrees by 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Going to do a little tailgating. Should be a nice afternoon to be hanging out around the grill. Temperatures in the afternoon on Saturday getting into the upper 70s. And your whole weekend looks pretty good. 79 on Saturday. A chance at a shower on Sunday, but still getting into the 70s. By Monday, we're much cooler. Highs in the 50s, lows in the 30s.
Well, we've got another edition of Football Friday in just minutes. The biggest plays from around the Miami Valley tonight, and it was football weather for another Football Friday.
It was absolutely beautiful. We got really lucky. We'll have a look at all those games coming up in just a minute. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Take Dayton 24/7 Now News.
Good evening, football fans. Welcome in the Week 8 of Football Friday, sponsored by Donato's. I'm Matt Digby, joined by Gwyneth Falloon. And Gwen, we had a nasty bit of weather a couple weeks ago, but the last 2 weeks, much more appropriate football weather.
I know. I was out last week, but I am back, and couldn't have really asked for a better weather night-wise. I mean, sunny, not too hot, no rain. Doesn't get much better than that.
Perfect weather, and we'll get right into the games. We're going to start in the G-Walk. Springboro and Fairmont, two of the teams in the four-way tie for first place at the beginning of the day. Home team with the ball first. Pitch out to Cameron Thornton, but Evan Weinberg with the stop, and Fairmont would have to punt on their opening drive. However, Panthers ball. Matthias Brunicardi up the middle for a short gain. Springboro would have to punt. Fairmont takes over with great starting position, and Brock Baker, he's going to put up a deep pass down the sideline. It's caught by Thornton in stride. He outruns the defender for the opening touchdown. Fairmont leads 7-0. Now the Panthers trying to answer, but on their ensuing drive, Max Miller under pressure. The ball's popped out. It's all the Panthers could do to prevent the turnover, but they would have to punt again. Fairmont keeps the momentum going. Baker with the option to Thornton, who finds a hole up the right side. That's good for a Firebirds first down. This drive will continue into the second quarter and into the red zone. Logan Doty for a short TD run as the Firebirds go on to win 24-7 the final. They are now 4-1 in G-Walk play.
Well, let's go to Chaminade Julienne, where they're hosting Carroll. We're going to start late in the second quarter. CJ already up 33-0. CJ in the red zone, and Aiden Lowry gets the ball and twists and turns through the defense all the way to the 1-yard line.
Play until you're down.
Seriously, though, now Lowry then finishing up that drive up the middle for the TD. It's going to be 40-0 Eagles. And the Eagles' next drive, Javen Manley finds Anthony Clemens Jr. wide open for a TD pass to increase that lead before half to 47-0, if you can believe it. Now to the third quarter, CJ giving the underclassmen some reps. Tristan McDonald Jr. gets the ball and makes a big gain here. Very nice there. And then CJ offense confuses the camera as well as the Carroll defense, and Crave Courtner, the fourth, ends up in the end zone, 54-0 CJ. Then it's Courtner, the fourth again, running out wide for over 20 yards. A very respectable run there. Look at him go. And we're going to see Henry Arnett finishing up that drive up the middle for the TD. The Eagles going on to win 68-0, if you can actually believe that. Now Dayton Christian hosting Gamble Montessori tonight, looking for a comeback after a tough game against Scioto Valley last week. So it's going to be a bit of a rough start for the Warriors, though. Joseph Jenkins with the ball. A whole congregation of Gators wrestling him down. The ball pops loose, and it's Gamble's number 77, Brad Welbrock, on that recovery. The Gators will take over on down, but that certainly seems to serve as a wake-up call for the Warriors. Less than 5 in the first quarter here. DC looking for their first. Noah Wickline hands it off to Braylon Briffle for a very respectful 20-plus yard run into the end zone. Dayton Christian 7-0. Top of the second quarter now, DC up 14-0 and looking for a third. The Warriors in the red zone. Number 3, Dyson Wilcox finds that goal line for 6. Touch point is good, so Warriors with a big lead with under 12-2 to break. Dayton Christian certainly finding its groove tonight. Jacob Cutler weaving his way around the defenders left and right. Very impressive footwork and leg work there, earning the Warriors another TD to advance their lead. It's going to be 56-6 Dayton Christian at home, the final.
Let's go to Welcome Stadium. Thurgood Marshall at Meadowdale in a Dayton City League matchup. Second quarter, Cougars are trailing, but they're putting together a drive. Mayan Woody up the middle. That's good for a first down gain near midfield. However, on that same drive, Thurgood Marshall going for it on fourth down. Norman Spearman going to be looking for some room. Takes off from the QB keeper, but he stops short of the line to gain. Meadowdale forces a turnover on downs. But then on the Lions' ensuing drive, Jordan Brown is going to be hit as he throws, and the ball's going to fall kindly for Sincere Love.